one. Lesson number one, change is inevitable. Someone once told me that change is the only thing that is constant in life, and that could not be more true, especially for this past year. Number two, don't forget your ID. So I'm forever gonna be carded. I've forgotten my ID multiple times and have regretted it multiple times, so do not forget your ID. Number three, every day is an opportunity to learn something new. We're constantly learning throughout life. I have so many more things left to learn, and I'm so excited to learn more. Number four, vote. If you are of legal age to vote and have the opportunity to vote, do it. Number five, try, and try again. I always think of that Aaliyah song where she's like, dust yourself off and try again. Don't be discouraged by failure. You won't know unless you try. Number six, learn to let go and forgive. Again, this is something I'm still learning and will always continue to learn. I personally believe that like holding grudges is just not worth your time nor your energy. I would much rather put all that time and energy into something that I'm passionate about or something that I want to try out. So number seven, wear sunscreen every day. SPF. I've been watching like Hiram's videos. I wish I would have made it a habit earlier. Number eight, don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes it's a lot easier to just put your pride aside and just say, hey, like, I just need some help. I've learned the hard way of putting my pride in front of wanting to ask for help. Everybody has different strengths and weaknesses, and somebody's strength may be your weakness and vice versa, so don't be afraid to ask. And sometimes it could lead to even bigger conversations and better connections. Number nine, don't compare your journey to another's. Go at your own pace. Just know that there's beauty in your individuality and your own personal experiences. It's easy to look at somebody else's life and be like, oh my gosh, like I wish I lived that type of lifestyle, but there's such beauty in diversity in that sense. Number 10, every experience, whether a positive or a negative experience, is still a learning experience. Every time I'm faced with the difficult situation, the number one thing I always ask myself is, what am I learning right now? It's helped out a lot with anxiety and feeling stuck, so yes. Number 11, celebrate alone time. One of the biggest things that I have learned from this year specifically, especially with quarantine and everything happening, is learning to celebrate alone time. I personally in the past have like tried to fill the void with something, whether that be going on my phone or watching TV. It's beautiful having that time alone to just decompress and just reflect on life. And I think it's very necessary. Number 12, the platinum rule. Up until, I want to say this year, I've lived using like the golden rule, which is treat others the way that you want to be treated. However, recently I have learned the platinum rule, which is treat others as you understand they wish to be treated. The one thing with the golden rule is that when you start thinking about, oh, how do I want to be treated, it may not necessarily be applicable to how another person wants to be treated. Number 13, accept. Simple word, accepting where you are at. Again, not comparing yourself, accepting others for who they are. Number 14, quality over quantity. This can be applied to so many different things, whether that be things you buy, or spending quality time rather than a bunch of time with just like meaningless conversations. Having quality connections, I think, has been so much more beneficial. Number 15, trust your gut. If something feels wrong or off to you, it probably is. 16, communication is everything. This is such a cliche and everybody says it, but it's so true. One thing that I've also come to realize is that if you have something that you're working through that you want to talk about with someone, whether that be somebody specific or a group, let them know. Nobody can read your mind unless they're like psychic. Everybody has different communication styles. That's a whole nother thing, but communication is everything. 17, practice gratitude daily. It doesn't have to be anything too big. I mean, it could even be like, I'm just grateful that I am breathing and I am healthy. It makes a huge difference in your day. 18. There's so much we can learn from one another. I say this time and time again, but some of the best conversations I have ever had in my entire life are with complete strangers, and I know that sounds so sketch, but what I really want to try to get at is that there's so much value in just listening, not necessarily listening to reply, but simply listening and just hearing other people's perspectives and appreciating it. Number 19, I mentioned this a little bit before, but everyone communicates differently. I think that's something that you learn throughout the course of your relationships and your connections. So 20, relationships go both ways. By relationships, I don't mean just romantic relationships. I think relationships can be applied to friendships, to family relationships. It's so important to make sure that, you know, there's an equal amount of like effort and love there. If somebody just does not want to be in your life, let them go. I know it's hard to come to that realization, and it's tough, especially if you still have so much love for that person. I feel like it's healthier to let them go, not only for them, but also for you. Last but certainly not least, number 21, you don't have to know everything about life right now. Being at the age of 21, I think there is a lot of pressure to know what you want to do with your life. Right here and right now. And sometimes I forget that we're still kind of young. At least that's what I be telling myself. Have direction and to have goals. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have those things, but also on that same token, there are just some things that you can only learn with time. Anyways, 21 years. If there are any that you've learned or any that you can relate to, let me know. So other than that, have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.